Oh, hey. Ah, here we go again. StreamYard, StreamYard, StreamYard. Let's see. I know you can hear me. Um, hmm, interesting. I can't hear you. Let's see. Every time, man. Every time. Okay, now say words. Okay, I think it's you because my test sounds fine. I don't hear you. What'd you say? You keep it's mine is fine. I can even hear it, like the test. Are you sure your mic is on the right one? Be positive. Just double check.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Doesn't matter. It's okay because
Oh my God.
we're here now, and that's all that matters.
I was jamming.
Listen, have you ever tested the sound on StreamYard? It's so
Clearly,
groovy.
clearly no.
It's
Clearly.
so groovy. I love it.
I was jamming to Lionel Richie. Hello.
Oh,
Is it
see?
me
Is
that
it
you're
me
looking
you're looking
for?
for?
Man,
Oh.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Man. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna my bad. And
Hey, no, listen. Things happen.
that's a perfect segue to understanding that sometimes we all make mistakes. No one is perfect.
No one.
No one. How are you? How's the week?
Um, Pretty good. I can't complain. Can't complain at all. How about you?
Hanging in there, hanging in there. We're supposed to have a third leg on this race. I
Yeah.
supposed, but we all got different time zones. We all got different times that we're gonna jump in.
Um,
Uh,
okay, cool. Well, I mean, we got quite a few things to talk about today.
yeah. I mean, the show will go on.
The show will go on.
You know, what I wanted to talk about today, and this is kind of where I was. I did a little homework. All right, I did
Okay.
some homework since the last Wednesday, and I had the privilege of watching somebody do a TED talk.
Yeah, my family hasn't even watched it, so thank
Man,
you.
man,
Did you enjoy
long.
it?
I did. I even
Yay.
I even did a little rerun, and I was like,
Ah, huzzah.
and I text you, and I said, man, we got a lot in common.
I was wondering what you were doing, and I was like, yeah, I kind of know that. Where you been?
Well, you always give the encrypted like officially no, but Spidey sense yes. So I was like, I don't even know how she's defining that as an answer, but okay.
Because officially, do I know? No. Can I say it's factual because it came out of your mouth? No.
Mm,
But do my spidey senses tell me, like, yeah, we here? They
mm.
absolutely do.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So it was very interesting. It was a great performance, if you want to call it that. I was curious to know.
It was
If,
definitely a performance. Like, you got to perform a little bit.
yeah, you were doing your thing. I want to say first and foremost to the audience, if you have not had a chance, go to YouTube, search up Jess Ford TED Talk. We actually have a speaker from TED Talk. When she comes in here dropping knowledge and wisdom, great opportunity for you to learn from this lady that did a TED Talk. That's big time. That
It
was
was a
big
good
time
time. It was a very it was an interesting experience for sure.
for sure. I
I
mean,
enjoyed it. It definitely makes you stretch.
you were a little nervous.
Um do you want to know why I was nervous? I'm not nervous speaking in front of people, whatever. Like I spoke in front of crowds of 300 3 times a week for 3 years. It was hot and my hair was straight. And
Mm.
the parking versus where the building was, what one, the right expectations were not set. And then two, we got in this tiny building and it is just so hot. So all I can feel is my hair growing.
Oh,
That
wow.
was the only thing that threw me off.
I got it. I got it.
That was it.
Who was the audience?
Audience.
So,
So it was in Georgia, and a mix of a few of the other speakers, um, people who like going to TED Talks, their families, friends. My best friend traveled with me and her mom. Actually, a couple of my friends went with me. It was really cool. They met me there. But yeah, it was like a mix of people, you know.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah,
So
I wasn't sure if it was family and friends or it was just a rando audience and you were just doing your thing.
yeah, no, it was a mix of other people's family and friends. A few of mine were there, and then just there are a lot of people who like follow TED speakers and like to go to their talks when they can. So yeah,
Well, it was long overdue. I will say that. And I took the 12 minutes and I banged it
right,
out.
12 minutes.
I guess like I was thinking it was going to be, this, oh man, I gotta, do I got an hour, 45 minutes? Am I going to put her on two, the two times, the multiplier to speed it up? But I was like, and then I felt embarrassed because I was like, 12 minutes, like I could
Yeah,
give her 12 minutes. Yeah.
and
And
it
it
was
was,
supposed to be more like 17, but I went rogue. As I knew I would. I knew I was gonna. I tried so hard to master it word for word, but like I've been public speaking for over a decade now. Like,
mm.
and I treat it just like I treat a training class. Like, yeah, I have an outline, but sometimes I'm gonna go rogue. Um, Something I did in the middle, I meant to do at the beginning, and it works so much better in the middle. So I'm glad I messed up my intro. But nobody
Well,
knew but me and my best friend. She knew because she's heard it a million times, but whatever. Nobody knew.
no one knows. No one
Yeah.
knows. No, it was good. It was good. So ultimately, the concept is a good person, and being a good human being. And I thought that would be important, to note on this show because we were talking about community and
Mhm.
what it is to have a nice community, what is it nice to have a nice village, a place that you rest your head to and feel comfortable with. And I thought it was important to kind of correlate the two because I think that's what a good community is. It starts with it being a good human being, a good
Yeah.
neighbor. And then if we have multiple neighbors that are all good people doing the right things for each other, what does that look like? And I
What
thought
does
that
that
would be,
look like?
I don't know. I mean, now have you? Now this is the part I don't know. Just being in Michigan, have you lived in multiple places
I lived in different parts of Michigan, and then I lived in Arizona for 2 years.
so you can see differences? Obviously. So what?
Oh
What?
yeah, and then working in this industry, right? I've done a lot of travel.
Sure.
Um, so I mean, this industry kind of inspired the talk. Not gonna lie,
This industry is wacky, wackadoodle.
it's wacky. It is wacky for sure.
What if we're gonna, I guess like what I would ask you is what would you define as a good place to live? Like, what are some of the wholesome values that you would be looking into to say, hey, this is a good place to live?
Oh, you know what? That is a good question. And I say that not only because you know it is, because you wrote it, but in some of my research today, it was something um, that I plan to talk about. So, all right, so a good place to live, right? It first of all, it depends on you. What is that? What does that look like to you? What do you need, right?
Right.
Um, to me, a good place to live is somewhere where you feel safe, right? Um, something that is not described as like a food desert. That's huge. I've lived in a food desert. It's awful.
What is a food?
Um, a food desert.
Yeah.
So You know how like in poorer communities or like in the hood, all you've got access to is fast food. You
Sure.
gotta drive 30 minutes for a grocery store to get any kind of fresh anything.
Sure.
That's
Okay.
food desert. And it's usually in the poorer communities. And they are specifically designed like that. But that's a whole other topic. So somewhere with good access to food, somewhere that feels safe, right? And I say feel safe because what is safe really? Where is any place ever really safe? Um, I don't know, access to transportation, right? Now I one day would like to live out in the sticks where like my neighbor is a quarter mile away. But right now, I love being able to get to a freeway in under 5 minutes. You know, so it's just about the things you need.
Sure. Um,
Oh,
so you
small
would like,
businesses too.
so with that being,
You
so
gotta
you
have
want to see
access to
small
small business.
businesses, you want to see
Yeah,
grocery
like
stores.
walkability isn't a big deal to me. Like I know a lot of people love being in the smaller suburbs where there's a lot of walkability, which I love the idea of, but I mean, I grew up in the city and everything's walkable if you make it walkable, right? But being able to access small businesses, um, from coffee shops to grocers to community centers, um, those are good places to live, in my opinion.
It said 99% of U.S. counties' home affordability is worse than historical averages, even as mortgage rates shift, highlighting the gap between approval and real cost burden. I think affordability can help you or not help you be able to determine where you live as far as some of these areas.
So affordability, I think that was one of the first things that I wanted to talk about today. Look at you. See, we right here, buddy. Um, so I think there's a misunderstanding of affordability, right? Most people equate affordability with house prices or the stores around them, right? So, like for instance, here in Michigan, in Troy, Michigan, we have this mall, and it's for the it is upper class, right? So some say, but they're two sides of this mall. It's so giant that they're on two different sides of the street, and it's called the rich side and the poor side.
Mhm.
And the prices are not different in real life, but for some reason that is how people equate them. Oh, hey, Brittany. I'll circle back to my point. Hi.
I think you're on mute, Brittany. You might be on mute. It messed me up at the beginning of the show. I was on mute, thinking that Jess is out of her mind.
Because he always wants it to be me,
I think I'm doing it what I'm supposed to be doing, and then I recognize like maybe I made a mistake.
right? Things happen.
Yeah, so you got the mute, so you just have to unmute yourself, Brittany, and then you should be good. And then we should be good. So we do have Trustee Brittany Norwood.
Yay.
Almost. You're
She's
off of me.
almost there.
I know. She's moving. She's not
Okay.
frozen.
We're not gonna make it weird. I'm gonna finish my sentence, and by time I'm gonna
Yes.
finish my thought, and by the time I'm done, she's gonna
Mhm.
have it. Brittany, also check your mic to see, make sure it's the correct mic. Um, okay, so like I was saying, most people equate affordability with house prices, right, and things
Yes.
in the area, but really, it's a like a three-way tug of war between prices, mortgage rates, and most importantly, wages.
Wages, of course.
Right? We always forget wages, which is crazy because we never forget wages when it's time to pay for something,
Facts.
but we don't factor it in for some reason with a lot of things. Seems silly.
It does. It really does. I wrote down. I came with stats today. 74% of U.S. Counties' housing costs now consume more than 28% of household wages, and that's above standard affordability thresholds. So, to your point, with the inflation costs of just food and transportation, that's affecting a lot of people's decisions. And
For
actually,
sure.
I saw a YouTube short this morning talking about, the top 5 states that are like just so expensive. And one of the states that we lend in is Colorado, with the average, purchase price being over $900,000.
I very much want to do more business in Colorado. I love it out there.
Dave is out there right now. One of my partners in crime, Dave, is out there in Colorado visiting his family, and we're just talking to him and just trying to get a lay of the land. But affordability is a huge thing, because not only is it like, can I live here and can I afford to live here? It's also, how can I build wealth long term, right?
Right.
If I'm having to choose from renting versus owning, that's a major concern as well. So these are factors that do occur, all the time, with people having to make decisions on what to do.
Right.
So it is kind of a messed up situation in theory. Just overall, I'm just trying. What was the best? Did you like that look? Or you?
Wait, go.
I got different
Wait,
versions.
this one's better. This one right here, whatever this is
You like
definitely
that
better for
version better?
Instagram.
Okay. Or this
No,
one?
go back. No, go back. No,
This one?
up on layer on top.
Did you like
No,
the
what are you
original?
doing?
This one?
Make it wider.
My dear, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't you understand? This was the wide one.
Was that the wide one? That one
Yeah.
right there. Stop.
Are you delayed?
No, well, it's everything's delayed. Go back one. Oh my god. Just
You're
go
talking
back
about
one.
you're talking about this one.
Yes, this one.
We can do this one.
Okay, this one, I think it's this one. Why is it? Oh, wait, no, I see me rolling my eyes at you, and we're going back. Perfect. Yep. This one's way better for Instagram, because that's why I sit so far back. Because if I'm up here, Instagram is like cuts off half my face.
Facts. So here we
Brittany,
are.
she back. Maybe. Okay.
Can't
I'm gonna.
hear you.
As a trainer, I also have to be IT, so I'm gonna walk you through some quick troubleshooting to get this going. At the bottom of your screen, you see a mic. Hit that arrow. Make sure both the mic and the headphones are on whatever device you're using. Don't be afraid to drop that menu down and change it. Okay, cool. And then check the mic on your computer as well. And unmute yourself real quick. Yeah, that ain't it.
Something with the computer. Something's not plugged in, maybe. If she's got a mic, if she's talking to the computer.
Yeah, I bet it's just not on the right setting.
Interesting. I don't know. Technology is some of them a gun sometimes.
Did you know that for the first time in 2020, average monthly mortgage payments are expected to decrease by like 1.3, well, more like 6%. Let's just put it like that. I'm not gonna go into the
Not yet.
billions.
The average mortgage payment right now is like $23.29 per month.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it just depends on what you can afford. So we're going to work on getting Trustee Brittany Norwood, Trustee from Dolton. It's a south suburb in Illinois, with us, talking about just building out a community and what should be a part of a community. You referenced some things that you'd like to see. Obviously, some grocery stores. You'd want to see some small businesses, because obviously maybe some manufacturing, right? Some factories.
I live in the Motor City. I said 6%, didn't I? I meant 1.3.
I was like 6%. Like, what?
1.3%. Sorry.
That's pretty aggressive. That's great.
Yeah, that's insane. No, 1.3%. I'm excited to talk to Brittany.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's a realtor as well,
Yeah.
and she took on this kind of this journey of really getting involved in her community, born and raised in that area, and decided to do something about it. Trying to make the community better, and I find I think that's amazing. And I commend that, because we probably Sometimes we talk a lot, but our actions don't back up what we really say.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So, anytime you
Um,
can have that, that's great.
I feel like there are some people aren't loud enough about it, right? So like I'm more like a vigilante, right? I work in the shadows, but I do all the good
Mm,
things,
you Daredevil,
yeah, but I'm not like
Batman.
screaming it on socials and like I don't know, it's so much noise out here. I just want to quietly save people's lives and keep going, move to the next.
I mean, to some degree, we have a responsibility for our families and ourselves. And, we have to be okay with that might be all you can do. That you were a good person, that you
Mm.
were a good steward of people that were around you, and that's okay.
That
Once
right? That's okay.
you know, the advocate, the protester, the antagonizer per se, that's a tough place to be at, and I don't know how much that solves at the end of the day.
So, the antagonizer, the protester. Mm, we need those people, right? Um, they play a
Always need
role,
those people out.
right? They play a role, but at the same time, I wish they weren't as loud as the other side, you know?
The role they play is to make a point, to stand out, to get themselves onto TV, to make it a hassle. So like, oh man, why is the expressway jammed up? Oh, because there's a protest going on. Oh, okay. Now I'm annoyed because my daily plans are being, apprehended, so to speak. But oh, okay. N- Now I have why are they protesting, right? What are the questions you're going to say in the car?
Right.
What's going on? Why am I stopping? Oh, there's a protest going on. What are they protesting about? Now I'm going to do my due diligence to kind of understand the process. So there is definitely a position necessary for people that, disagree with stuff. But, hopefully they can do it respectfully, not damaging things,
Not
all that type of
damaging
jazz.
things.
Yeah.
Like, why do we always have to damage things? She back. Third time's a charm.
Say something. Nope.
No.
No volume.
I wish I knew what she was saying though, because she seems very passionate about it. I know, girl. I had so many questions for you.
We were talking about you being a trustee and the journey of really just trying to strengthen your community in your area and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. So you like this? You actually like this format with the up and down? This is better.
Yeah, I like it. Let me see. It looks okay on YouTube. Looks good on Instagram. Looks good on the Facebook. So on here's what's weird. We're up and down here, but on Instagram we're stacked.
Interesting.
And everywhere else we're vertical. And now I gotta do that sit back thing. All right, just put it however you want it. I'll put my chair back on my mark.
You're fine. We're gonna do this today. Today, this next week we do something different. I
This
was
is
just
what
trying
we're
it out.
doing.
I saw someone else do it like this, and I was like, huh, let me try this.
Yeah, I don't hate it. You know what I kind of like about this?
Hmm.
Hold on, let me make sure I can do it. Where are we horizontal? We are horizontal on Facebook. So now when you say something silly, I can just look at you like this.
You looked the wrong way.
Did I? No,
Yeah,
that's where you are
I'm
to
over
me.
here. I'm over here. You're supposed to look
This
the
is
other
where
way.
you are to me. You right
Oh,
here, and
well,
I
you're
can
right
see it.
over here. You're
It's
right
mirrored.
there.
Right. So you would look that way at me, but on the screen it looks like you looking at me.
Hilarious. You're
Brittany,
funny.
do you like our stall tactics? It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, we trying to get you. I know you got some stuff, and it'll be good. Man, Brittany, I've known Brittany now for almost 10 years. It's got to be
Hmm.
10 to 12 years. Because Brittany, I think your son was like 7 when I first met him, and now he's like 19, right?
Oh wow. Nice.
18. Yeah, so it's about, yeah, I've known her for about 10 to 11 years. Just a bubbly personality, a great person. really cares for people, and she's just very prideful for her community, and she's trying to do great things, and she is doing great things down in Dolton, and just having her perspective of just a community, it's just something that's kind of weird because in the mortgage space, we help people get homes, and
Mhm.
you're so looking for the description of the house, right? How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, you know, and I don't think it's almost like the definition of community has been lost, or it is at least been on the back burner.
You know what? That is a really good point. So I grew up in a time, right, in the 90s where we knew all of our neighbors. We knew our neighbors so well that our neighbors' parents were parenting us and it was not a problem, right?
Mm.
But now, oh, Brittany, say something.
I think I got it.
You got it.
Whoa!
Hey.
Guys, you all don't know how much I've been through this morning, okay? Oh, fix it, Lord. I'm sorry. Hey, guys.
Welcome to it.
That's awesome.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all so much for stalling because I was getting weary, Lord.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I can hear you now. But yeah, welcome. I mean, this is we're talking right now. Just to give you an idea, we got about 260 people listening to us right now. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and we're excited just to get your insight. Obviously, being the trustee of Dolton that you are. Is this your third year?
This is actually my fifth year.
Fifth year. Fifth year.
Yes, yes. So the
So
first year is every 4 years, and then so I completed the
that's right.
first year, and then this is my first year of my second election.
Yeah, they
Nice.
voted you in again. You were so good they had to do it again.
Thank God.
That's
And Brittany,
awesome.
where are you?
I'm in Dolton, Illinois.
Dalton, Illinois. Okay. I was looking for you yesterday. I couldn't find you.
What?
She's in
I
Michigan.
probably did. I probably didn't look hard enough. I didn't like stalk you like we were like, hanging out. But I'll find
Jess,
you.
Jess, you have to know I'm always there. They're never there. Isn't that the expression? I'm always there.
There.
I'm
Oh,
everywhere.
I trust me. I'm gonna find you before we're done.
Brittany, why don't you just explain just kind of your journey and why you chose to become a trustee of Dalton, and obviously with your responsibilities as being a realtor, what were some of the steps and the reasons why you chose to do that?
So what's interesting is, as you stated, we've known each other quite some time, and you and I used to host real estate seminars
Yes, indeed.
way before I even thought about becoming a trustee for Dalton. And it just started with just being maybe about 10 years ago. I had a fire. I lived in one of our condo association complexes in Dalton. And one night, long story short, my son, I'm laying down and he's like screaming. He's like, "Hey, get up, mom, something's happening outside." And I thought that people were just arguing outdoors. So I'm like, "Go back to sleep." I'm telling him, I'm like, "Hey, it's getting late." And I went back to sleep and he kept waking me up. He's like, "Something isn't right." And I eventually opened the door. And when I opened the door, it's all smoke outside. Like
Mm,
everything is pitch black. And I was scared. So I figured out that I was in the midst of a fire. We had to escape through the balcony on a ladder with the firefighters. And from there, the mayor at the time and the current firefighter department, they assisted. And when the mayor came, he interviewed me. I realized then that community is important, right? These type of things that we take for granted is important. During the time that I was scared and on the balcony, and my son and I was just waiting for help, we had neighbors who were outside and they were telling me to throw out a blanket so that they could save us. So we were throwing out a blanket so that they could break our fall. And it was then that I realized that sometimes we are all we have as a
Hmm.
community. And from that moment on, I became really community involved. And from there, the previous mayor, um, the mayor at the time, asked, after years of me volunteering and just always being around, he asked if I'd run on his ticket for as trustee, and he was rerunning for mayor. And it was all history from there.
That's awesome. That's
Love
a great
that.
story. What
Thank you,
what
guys.
what are things that you would like to see in your community? Obviously, you're taking part of community board meetings. What are some of the things that you guys are working on to really strengthen the community and make Dolton something proud that people can call home?
Mm, Well, we obviously work a lot on our just community itself. So one thing we joke about as a board is everyone around us is, for the most part, is so we're all a family. So our seniors, they're like my grandmother, right? Some of the residents, they're like my auntie.
Mm.
And besides the community aspect, and because we love these people so much, right, it makes it easier, or it makes it more important to focus on the things that the residents need. So when you think about when a resident pays taxes, what are they expecting from a town? You're expecting to have streets, right? You with that has okay infrastructure. As
Hmm.
less potholes as possible. You expect there to less vacancies, less eyesores as possible when you think about the homes on your block or the homes in your community. So those are the things at the moment that as a board we're working on, besides the community aspect, because we're already a family, but now we're just working on strengthening our community in terms of the infrastructure, making sure that we bring those businesses back, or we bring the businesses back alive, right? Our town, we've been through some things, but we're back and we're better. And that's pretty much what we're focusing on, just strengthening our economic state.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, obviously, the more businesses in a community, the tax burden gets passed and shared on to businesses, as
Hmm.
businesses will pay more in real estate taxes that would reduce potentially the, the constituents that live there, their tax bill. So, I mean, that's a huge thing if you can get businesses there, and then job opportunities, right? If you bring businesses, to the community, now there's more job opportunities. So our young men and women, when they graduate, they got somewhere to go work and not be hanging out in godforsaken places. So that is a great thing. Now you're a realtor too, so I mean, how do you balance the both?
Um, it's it's I think it was meant to be. And when I say that, it's because on uh, the serving side, right? Just being a servant for the people, and but also being on the board. Sometimes businesses ask, "Hey, can we get a Class A?" The businesses also want tax reliefs. That's sometimes an act of theirs because taxes are high all around the board. And because I understand it, right, as a realtor, I understand that taxes are high. So I always try to keep that in mind, that if we can provide relief for them sometimes, then it make it easier for them to stay in business, which is one more business that we have in town. But on the other side, then with me sitting in the seat, I tell businesses, I'm on the youth committee in the town. I'm also on the youth committee. So being a part of the youth committee is extremely important for me to make sure that the youth and the town have access to jobs. So I always ask them, I say, well, hey, I understand that you all would like a Class A, but I like for them to understand that in turn, our town would like access to jobs, right? So
Mhm.
that way, I'm able to still provide the residents with jobs. And then at the same time, the businesses, we're all one. So it's making it easier for everyone, and everyone gets something out of the deal. So that's the goal.
That's awesome. Jess,
I'm
are you
sorry, Jess.
saying
I see
something?
your face. You seem like you was on mute. I didn't know you had a question for me. Oh, you are. You are me, Jess.
Okay. See, now, this is, what we call this, Brittany? Brittany, this is called karma. And sometimes karma just seems to work all the way around. So I had the issues in the beginning. You're here, and now Jess, I feel better now. I feel better. Let's talk about just the market. With real estate in general. I mean, how are you feeling about the market right now? What's your kind of take on it? What are you hearing buyers, ask about? What's your experience like right now heading into 26?
It's it's a very interesting market because you have um, you taxes are a little bit higher and interest rates, right? That's where you come in. I'm kind of I noticed that they lowered up just a bit, right? So that's a good thing. But the tricky part is we're no longer where we were where we once was. So it's hard for people to understand that because things are changing. And now I remember when I first got into real estate 10, 15 years ago, you could get a mortgage comfortably for $1,300 or $1,100 to $1,300 used to be a 3-bedroom home, brick house, just 11 to 13 comfortably, including taxes and mortgages, right?
Sure.
And now with the market, the cost of living is going up and everything is much more expensive. So it's a gift and a curse because now is the time. If you look at the fact that the interest rates are lower, then it's like, go ahead, go now because we never know what could happen. You always want to get them when they're lowered. Um, but I noticed that the homes haven't really went down from the housing market. When we had that big soar a few years ago, or when
Sure.
we had that seller's market, normally after the seller's market, the homes kind of, the market kind of flip and the houses we go directly into a buyer's market. But in this case, from my experience, the houses are still holding their value. They're still pretty steady.
No, you're right on that. Really, what we've seen is millions of people took advantage of those low interest rates. So when interest rates were 1, 2, 3%, they all took advantage. And so we had a huge pool of people buy homes then. And so now they don't want to refinance. They don't want to sell their house because they're like, hey, I got this 3%. If I sell, I don't want this 6%. So now we're seeing more families stay in the house and just trying to make it work. They may do some renovations or some updates or upgrades, but if it isn't a divorce situation, if it isn't a job relocation of something of that magnitude, they're staying, which has limited really the inventory across the country. And so since the inventory is small, now we have the multiple bid situations. We have sellers that are able to sell their house for higher numbers, even though it's outdated home. It's like this house looks like it was from Austin Powers 1970s, but it's still getting market value because there's just not enough inventory overall. So there is still a shortage. And then because of the affordability, the only thing that's happening is we are seeing longer turn times in the housing market. So a house may stay on, 5 years ago, the house was, selling in 7 days, 5 days. Now it might be a month, month and a half, depending on, just where it is and does it make sense because some of these homes still need a lot of TLC after you buy it.
Yeah.
So I know Jess was having some technical difficulties, but if someone is stuck right now, Brittany, if someone is stuck right now, overthinking, under earning, or just thinking small, what is the uncomfortable truth that they need to hear from you today?
Um, right now, they have to go for it, start, right? Get started is something I would say. Even if it's something as small as just working on your credit at this moment. So right now, while the market is stabilizing, this may be a really good time for someone to work on their credit, make sure that they have that security so that when they are ready to purchase, then they'll know that they have that credit score and they have the money put away. So no matter how they get started, like Nike stated, just do it, because now is the best time than any, in regards to figuring out the game plan. We're all getting older, and with things changing, I think that we're starting to realize, like, hey, we're starting to think about retirement
Mhm.
and grandchildren and the future. So these things are becoming important right now. Um, and that's the goal. So I'm saying get started.
It's funny you say that. I just in August was my birthday, and I turned 45, and it was the first time in my life where I was like, "Damn, I'm closer to 60 than I am 20." I still feel young, and I still like do things like from a young perspective, but it was the first time it kind of hit me that we are getting older. Like, man, I'm 15 years away from being 60 years old. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me, you know. And I don't know how you're supposed to feel, but right now I'm like, I feel good. I feel fine. I feel, I got some bumps and bruises, but I'm still okay.
Okay. You still hanging in
But
there.
no, that's interesting. You, I'm still hanging in there. I'm still, I'm trying to stay young as much as I can. You know, um, I was going to ask you, what's a decision you made that looked risky to everyone else, but felt necessary to you? Because you were talking about, you got to do it, just do it like Nike. So what is the decision that you made that looked risky, but to everyone else, but you knew you had to do it?
Okay, so when you ask that, I just would you like to know in regards in the real estate world, um, or just overall in life in general?
Let's go in life. I want to get to know you better. So yeah, let's go on in life.
In life, I would say it would have to be the recall. A few years ago, when as a sitting trustee, the board and I had to make a decision regarding recalling the mayor at the time. And I think that was one of the hardest decisions that I've had to make, that I could think of. Sometimes when you look back and you're like, "Ooh, that was tricky," right? When you hear when people have questions and they're like, "Hey," people ask you, they're like, "Are you sure this is the right decision?" And it's something about your heart that tells you that it's the thing to do. So I will go with that in regards to life in general.
And what do you say about real estate?
Real estate, I would say it was a deal you and I were working on about 5 or 6 years ago. And you and I have worked on a lot of deals together. But this one, by far most, it was more personal because it was one of my best friends. And you and I were in the middle of the deal. So do you remember the deal?
I think I do. I think I do.
Okay, so my client and I, you gave them the pre-approval. They were pre-approved by you, and we had found a house, and it was like the perfect house in terms of what they were looking for, the price. They got it for such a great price because the house needed some work, and it really couldn't qualify for FHA unless we made some changes. And as we all know, typically you don't do work to the house until after you close on the house. But in
Correct.
this case, the house was such a great deal that I think we needed like a water heater at the time, and a
Mhm.
few little small repairs. And I talked to my client and like, hey, we had to make the decision if you could get these things repaired. Now it was really risky because we weren't all the way, you're not closed until
You're
the
close.
deal is closed.
Right. Facts.
So here we are, and we have this market. And at the time, we were looking and looking, and the only reason why this house was still there is because of the work that it needed. And the client, the risk was, hey, if it don't close, you lose all the money that we invested. It was about $1,500 that the client invested. And it was like, if we don't close, that's the risk. But if we do close, you get about $30,000 equity in your home. So
100%.
they made the decision, and we were in the middle of the deal. They made the repairs, and something happened with the deal. And you and I got so scared. The sellers were trying to put the house back on the market, and it was risky because I kept saying, hey, let's just keep trying. Let's keep trying. And my client is like, hey, she was giving up, and you and I were frustrated, but it was risky, but we made it happen. So,
We made it happen. And I'll tie it to Jess. I know you've probably had deals where you feel so adamant about this customer deserves this house, deserves this property, and you're going to do whatever you can,
Oh
to
yeah,
make sure it happens.
too
And
much.
yeah, we've had that was one of those deals that will be remembered because we had credit challenges, we had cash to close issues, we had a old attorney who was like 90 years old, and I was like, if I have to drive here and get you to give me what I need,
Right. Then
I'm
you gonna
coming.
go. I've
I'm
done that.
I'm coming. And and it's like it's people will never truly ever believe, Brittany, all the things that deal happened. I mean, and then the seller that says, hey, it came back subject to, well, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. If you can't get it, then it's not. Dude, like no help whatsoever. So we,
None.
weekend warriors, and just we got it done. So there was a lot of sweat equity before the closing to make it do what it doing, but we got it done, and they have a beautiful home, a bunch of appreciation, and I think she might be even looking to sell pretty soon, Brittany. So definitely want to reach out to her on that. But yeah, that was a great experience.
great job.
Jess, I know you had some questions for Brittany.
I did, but they have all fallen out of my head now.
Te-
This technology thing
did you see how the
today.
caramel worked? I just wanted to comment on the caramel.
First of all, I gave
Man,
you grace, okay? You outed yourself today. All right? Good grief.
man,
Oh,
Listen,
craziness.
everything that could have went wrong this morning went wrong. I am not even streaming mines to my live guys because I was having such a technical error that by the time we got situated, I couldn't even stream it to my audience. So
Well,
I know what
yeah,
y'all are going through.
yeah,
my mic just decided to mute itself, and then it was like, we don't work anymore.
we're definitely going to do this again, Brittany. But no, I'm just pretty sure that we are able to speak and all talk, and people are listening, and we do have some questions on the side. So I want to make sure we're going to take care of some housekeeping notes right now, and then we'll get to these questions and take it from there. So Jess, where can people reach you?
Ooh, as always, I will drop my link in the chat, but you can find me on Instagram at jford under consulting underscore consulting. Or as Dante told you earlier, Google me, just Ford. You put Detroit behind it, you can put TED Talk behind it. Either way, you'll find it. But I am going to drop my link in the chat. I haven't had anybody reach out to me with questions yet. You guys always have questions in the chat. Love it. But feel free to email, call, text, DM, whatever you need.
Awesome sauce, Brittany. For you, obviously you're busy bee, but how does someone get a hold of you?
So they can now my Instagram. So I'm more of a Facebook girl myself, but I have all three. Okay, guys. So my YouTube, they can go to my channel. Subscribe to my channel is probably the best way. And that said, Trustee Brittany Norwood, Trustee BrittanyNorwood. And they can always go to my Facebook. And I'm on Facebook as Brittany Janelle, BrittanyJenel.
Awesome sauce. And whether you're buying, refinancing, or investing, call Epic today, 708-905-5300, 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Now, after the show is over, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, we definitely want you to check out our most recent Epic Spotlight podcast. We had a chance to speak with Casey Miller. She works with Credit Advantage. She works for Credit Advantage. She's a mortgage industry veteran, and she reveals the surprising impact of the new VantageScore 4 and how trigger lead legislation can protect your data, and why most credit repair strategies could be costing you your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, realtor, or seasoned investor, learn how to build relationships that benefit your finances and uncover credit myths that are ruining your score. And so I had an opportunity to speak to Casey, and it was a real nice conversation. And she used to live in Colorado, speaking of Colorado, and relocated herself. So it was a nice conversation. So after the show is over, make sure you check out Epic Spotlight on YouTube and check out the Casey Miller Epic Spotlight podcast. And then we do have preferred listings. Brittany, we're going to get some of your preferred listings this year on here. But we have a website, DonteRoyster.com. So if you go to DonteRoyster.com, all of our, realtors that we love and that we work with, we will showcase your listings. We'll let people know what homes are available so we can try to get them off the market as quickly as possible. And that's a great opportunity. So if anyone is out there looking for preferred listings, we have listings in Maryland, Humble, Texas. We got listings in the south suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, and Chicago. Definitely go check out DonteRoyster.com. All right, we got some questions. I know. Oh man, where did that go? Yeah, speaking of technology today,
right? It's something.
I've
never had this many difficulties.
It's like fat fingers. It's like Fat Fingers Johnny. Like, what are you doing, buddy?
Stop blaming yourself.
Okay.
Just let the technology be bad today.
Only visible. Okay, so it says it's only visible to me.
No, we see it.
Jot down.
Big Brother Dynamite says hello.
Yeah, you know him. He must know you. Big Brother Dynamite. Big Brother Lance. I like School Days. I like that movie. It's good to be a good person. Yes, it is.
Huzzah.
And then New York is great for walkability and public transportation, but the cleanliness and the safety sucks.
Cleanliness, that's something I didn't say. I didn't get to. Cleanliness, big deal.
You think it is?
Absolutely. Like, so Arizona, Phoenix is the cleanest city I have ever seen. You never saw trash on the side of a freeway, a walkway, nothing, not even a cigarette butt. It is the cleanest place I have ever seen.
That's so important.
But clean.
I've been to Arizona one time. I was in Phoenix. It was like 102. Everyone stayed inside. No one was outside.
You stayed in at 102?
Yes. I didn't want to melt. Come on.
No, 110. Anything over 110, and it's like, all right, let's stay in the house.
But what was crazy? It was like it was such a transient. Is it transient like state where like no one was from Arizona?
Oh no, not at all. Actually, the year I moved there, 2016, Wayne County, which is Detroit, right, and Maricopa County, which is Phoenix, literally did a switch. It was like by give or take 5,000.
Wow.
They did a huge switch. Nobody is actually from it. Let's see. I met in the 2 years that I was there, I met 2 native daughters and a native son.
Yes.
Nobody's from Arizona.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got a question here. Nick says, what's the biggest factor that truly makes a village thrive today? Brittany, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, Brittany.
I would say the economy. The economy is extremely important because you think about the schools, right? When you think about a town, a village, you think about the businesses, schools, especially if you have younger children, businesses, right? Because you always want to make sure that you have a local grocery store. That's always important. And progression. Knowing that you have a town that is financially responsible is most important, because what I'm learning is you're always going to have, as a village, you're always going to have things that you have to work on, but we want to make sure that the finances are being handled responsibly, because as long as the money is used the way it's allocated, then you're fine. It's not until people are financially irresponsible that it makes the residents a little leery.
I love that answer. A lot of people would have said community, right? Which, sure, yes, but neighborhoods are not just collections of houses and buildings. They are a physical manifestation of where society chooses to invest its money.
So, grocery stores, I mean, across the board, I'm hearing police, fire department, um, small businesses, possibly a manufacturing, some type of factory job work per se. Um, I'm hearing safety. I'm hearing, schools. That was kind of the first. Okay, definitely want to have good schools. So, from a grammar school, a K through 8, and then a high school to some degree. So, I mean, we're starting to define what this, community looks like. And like I said, one of the issues that I found to be interesting was I felt like we lost some of that, as people are going out looking for homes. They're so fixated on the description of the house, and they were almost a little careless on where am I gonna, where do I have to find it? And you can find that house per se in a lot of different areas, but you have to look at the other factors and the community that you're around, because are you safe? Because safety is always a concern.
Mhm. And see, that's why I stated like financially responsible village, because when you have a financially responsible village, um, the board, and you have as long as you have the finances there and you have a responsible board, they can make sure that those funds are allocated the right way for fire, police, right? So that's where the safety part comes in at. But all of these things first, money, right? The financial state is where it starts, where it originates, and then everything else kind of just trickles in. But ultimately, it's one team. It's like a drum line, right? One beat, one sound. So it all works together collaboratively, to make one.
I love that. I love that drumline. I haven't seen that movie in a minute.
And neither have I. Have to go. You're gonna make me watch it. That's one of my
Come
favorite
on.
movies.
That's Nick Cannon, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
Nick
yes.
Cannon.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say Michael B. Jordan in a second, but I was like, no, 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 that ain't.
You could have kept that to yourself. Read the next question.
How can real estate leaders help shape stronger communities long term?
Ooh, that's a good one. Brittany, you got something?
Sure. So again, the goal is um, being able to provide the resources, right? Be able to make sure that the residents are aware, in regards to, as you stated, the home. So every year, I actually just had one a few weeks ago. Every year for myself, and I don't know if this is the real estate part or the trustee part, but I just know that it's important. So I do it every year, and it's every year I have the Thornton Township tax assessor come out, and she comes to Dolton, so and I invite the residents out so that she could assist them with appealing their taxes. So when you look at
Hmm.
things of that nature, it becomes important because a lot of times what I learned is that a lot of times people don't know that you're supposed to appeal your taxes every year, right?
Hmm.
These are just things that we're just not privy to. So as a realtor, because I know I'm able to provide this information, and then I just use my influence as a member on the board to just bring it to on a broader spectrum. So whereas I used to just have home buyer seminars discussing this, now I make it village seminars so that all of the residents at least have access to the information, because of course the less they spend on their taxes, the better chances they have of staying and saving their home. So in that aspect is being able to provide the residents with the information to make sure that their house is always affordable, right? Because I heard you all mention affordability. So we want to make sure that people are not in a predicament where they can no longer afford to stay in the place that they've called home, where they're currently calling home.
I like that a lot, especially from a community leader and realtor side, right? Because my job is to look at everything through the eyes of the money, right? But while being a good human. And so we need that in conjunction with lending, right? And access to capital because, okay, so let's take the human body, right? Capital acts as the circulatory system of a neighborhood, right? So blood flow determines health of the organs. So the flow of capital determines which neighborhoods thrive, which ones stay stagnant, and which ones are transformed through gentrification. We need the access and the information no matter what.
A lot of people don't do real estate transactions, right? I mean, how many, best case scenario for some, they might do 7 transactions in their whole lifetime. So just the access to information that, Brittany possesses is just, it opens people's eyes. So people don't, anytime you have a conversation, just you go out and you say, hey, I'm a loan officer, and then you really open up and tell them what you do and just some of the challenges and the trials and tribulations you go through. People are pretty like enamored, like, wow, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know, because they just know about themselves, right? We don't
Right.
have enough conversations about money. That's part of our own personal problem. We don't talk to each other and be like, hey, like this morning, I called my financial advisor. And I was like, hey, I just want to rant. I just want to rant. I'm going to give you 20 minutes of ranting, and then you tell me what you got to say, and then we keep it moving. But how many people are actually doing that on a regular? To really checks and balances. And just to let my advisor know, I'm watching, dude. I'm watching. I read. I know what time it is.
Checks and balances,
Man,
huh?
checks and balances. But we all have to do that. It can't be just a Dante thing. It's something that we need to do, and we need to talk to each other. Like, hey, I made this power move and I did this, but hey, this is not a good idea. So then that way we don't fall and slip on the banana peel again. We gotta pay it forward.
Oh, well,
Thank you, Victor. We need balance.
We
Yes.
do.
What's the traffic inconvenience to a protest promoting progress in the end? Oh, that was him listening to you. Challenge. Thank you,
You
Victor.
brought up the traffic thing.
But you brought up that is still good progress that protesting is bringing
That was
about.
you.
I didn't say it was progress. You did.
You brought up protesting.
I need a replay.
You really
Victor, I know what you're saying. He's going with the angle. He's
Yeah,
saying,
no, I totally understand what he's saying.
thank you, Victor.
That's a deep thinking brother right there.
He's challenging you. No, I mean, obviously, protest is a necessary thing in communities. We need to be awakened to the concept that there might be an issue that someone is seeing it from a different side. How you protest is always going to be subjective, but it does bring about a moment where you do have to stop. It has to be an inconvenience. If it's not an inconvenience, you won't pay attention to it.
Right.
So if you're going to Burger King or Wendy's and you can't turn in because you got 1,000 people walking down the street and they like in your way, you're going to you stop and say, well, I can't hit anybody. And what are they doing? And you're going to go to your phone and Google, like, why are 1,000 people walking down Ogden Avenue? Like, what the heck is going on? And then you're going to at least have some type of awareness. So protesting brings about an awareness, and hopefully it will bring about change, right? And
yeah.
I just we're in a day and age that there's so much absolute. Everything has to be absolute, and that's not really how the world is. Every decision that's made, it might help 51%, but it won't help 49%. And we have to understand that as a community, as a country, as individuals, not everything is meant to be helping you specifically. And I think sometimes we lose that. We're expecting like, well, they didn't help me, but it could have helped 51%.
Right. It's always the me.
Me? What about me? All right. David writes, are there programs people should be paying more attention to right now? Now, Brittany, from a community perspective, do you guys have certain incentives, for the Dolton community? If I'm coming there as an investor or as a first-time home buyer, is there any incentives?
So when he asked that, so I'm currently working. So the committees that I currently sit on is the housing committee and the youth committee. On the housing committee side, I'm currently working on the last few months. I've been presenting a Dolton United Housing Program. It's the name of our potential start to our housing program. Right now, it's in the works, so that's why I say potential. I have to bring it to the board, and we have a few more meetings, and then the board will have to vote on it and make the decision. But if it's approved, the housing program will be called Dolton United Housing Program, and the gist will be that we'll offer residents the first opportunity to have the ability to purchase homes in their own town.
Awesome.
So the thoughts are, I know sometimes residents ask, well, how, because right now the incentive is that the house is at a very nominal fee, but of course you have to, most of the houses need work. So with the program, we'll have a set amount for the purchase price, and then but the resident have to show proof of funds, proving that they can ultimately afford the rehab work, right, and the property itself. So it's comparable, Dante, to like a 203K loan, right? It's comparable to that, but to put it simple, a resident find a home that they're interested in, and as long as they can provide proof of funds for the proof of funds with their application, asking, saying, hey, this is the house that I'm interested in, then they'll have a shot at owning this home. And for the town, it'll put the house back on the tax roll. So that's our ultimate goal as a town. But for just the community, it'll be one less eyesore. So that's what we're currently working on now. I know that you said we're going to have a part two. So I love, especially since I couldn't stream this time to my audience, I need a reason to have a part two either way, right? So I love to share more information regarding the program and how people like you all, yourself, are extremely important in this part of the process, because you will have people that may not have $50,000, $60,000 set aside in their closet, but as long as they can get pre-approved for a loan, all we ask is for pre-approval, right? So, and that's where people like yourself comes in and can assist the residents or assist someone with how do they go about purchasing this home, and we're putting the less down and just getting making it as affordable as possible for them in the
Awesome.
town that you know
And if you do have 50 to
so
60,000, don't put it in the bank. You call us first. It's a whole thing.
Mm,
okay.
that's
Seasoning
another.
requirements.
Okay.
That's, that's
Don't you put
another.
that money in the bank.
That's another topic for another day.
Right.
We got a couple more questions and we'll get this wrapped up. How far ahead should communities really be planning? 10 to 20 years? That's a great question, Olivia. What are you guys doing, Brittany? When you guys plan, is it just a year out, or are these 5, 10, 20-year plans?
So as a official, our ultimate goal is to make it year by year successfully, right? So ultimately, it's about time to start a new budget, and from that standpoint, looking at it throughout just the year, we want to make sure that we can financially sustain. So the weather is changing. We understand that we have to have more potholes done, right? Right now, we have to fix our infrastructures. We have been applying for grants. So at our last board meeting, our engineering company discussed how they just applied for a grant so that hopefully our town could use that for the current homeowners can use that for personal needs like flooding in the basement and things of these nature. So overall, we're just trying to stay as financially net for the year to year, but we're keeping in mind infrastructure, right? We want to keep the funding so that as time progresses, because these streets are old in general. right? And it's like with anything,
Mhm.
after a lot of wear and tear, what do you need? You need fixing. So that's
Facts.
where we are. And realistically, what I've learned is that Rome wasn't built in a day, and there's no way that we'll get, we have enough money to fix every street. But the goal is to go by what's most important, right? Priorities, prioritizing. So infrastructure over the next few years, just making sure that we do keep our great, keep our businesses intact and things of that nature. Overall, so we're definitely planning for 10, 20 years because we have seniors, we have students graduating from college, and we want to make sure that when they graduate from college, they come back to Dolton, right? We want them to invest in the town that they once lived in, and we want them to start their family here in Dolton, and we want to continue the cycle.
Awesome.
And that's the goal, to do so.
Awesome. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. I'm appreciate everyone giving us questions. I'm going to keep some of these questions that we weren't able to get to, and we'll make sure that we get them answered next time. And no, this was really insightful. No, and I really appreciate both you guys being able to show up. And yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good. Minus
Technology, but it's all
technology.
good.
All right, it's gonna.
Little
Oh,
technology, but we'll
Brittany.
get it. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna keep the peace on that one.
Yeah, it
Um,
was good. Next week we won't have so many issues. I'm gonna
we
claim it
won't
right now.
claim
Gonna
it.
claim it. Going to claim it.
Hey,
I know we're gonna circle back to some of the stuff that we missed today next week, which I'm very excited about. Um,
yeah, we kind of had a free flow it, and then we were, doing some stop gaps, and now here we are. So
yeah.
everything will be better next week. We'll see if she can come again, and then we'll get it wrapped up on part 2.
If Brittany can come again, I would love to talk about renovation ROI while we have a realtor present.
That would be stupendous.
Yep. Yeah. I
Stupendous.
think that's the whole thing we should do. All right. Well,
Nice to see you.
you as
Until
well.
next week,
Good day.
be a good person.
Oh, you be a good human too.
I like that. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.